Christina Ash, and I'm a Peace Corps Youth Development volunteer serving in Ukraine. Youth Development, or YD, is one of the three sectors in Ukraine. The others are Teaching English as a Foreign Language, or TEFL, and Community Development, or CD. Being a YD volunteer could mean a lot of different things in Ukraine. Most volunteers are placed in social service organizations, youth centers, or schools. In my case, I was placed in a boarding school, which turned out to be a really good fit for me. During my first year of service, I worked only after school. That was good in the way that I had more time and flexibility, but it was also really hard because most of the teachers have already gone home, so I found myself working by myself a lot. The thing about the YD program is that you're not told exactly what you have to do. You have to work with your partner to figure out what they expect from you. Sometimes that can be kind of difficult because either their goals are so vague, there's a language barrier, or maybe you just don't really know what you're capable of or what they're capable of. Being a YD volunteer definitely takes a lot of creativity, persistence, and initiative. All volunteers have at least one counterpart. In my case, I have three, two vice principals and an English teacher. I'm really fortunate because they are great to work with and are very supportive. Sometimes I have some crazy ideas, but they're always willing to hear me out. I think the relationship you have with your counterpart can make or break your service. So what exactly do I do as a youth developer? Well, that can be anything from simply hanging out with kids to hosting a leadership program. During my first year of service, I taught a lot of lessons on topics such as healthy lifestyles and relationships, problem solving, and conflicts. Then, after they've done their homework and eaten dinner, we would hang out and just play games or do art projects. It was basically a time to spend together. Anyone who knows me really well knows that children are actually outside of my comfort zone. So just hanging out with kids and being silly and goofing off, that was really hard for me at first. But the time that we spent together in the evenings was probably the greatest thing I could have done for our relationship because we developed a really strong bond. And between the family atmosphere at the boarding school and all of this personal time we spent together, I really felt like I was one of them and not just a foreigner at their school. Sometimes we do something special, such as have a Halloween dance or a field day at the park. I think the most popular thing that I've done so far are theme-based modules, especially the one that we did on cooking. Every week we would meet at my apartment and we would learn something new. We started off with the cooking basics, and then every week we would add something, such as appetizers, sides, a main dish, or a dessert. The kids really liked that one. So basically, what I'm always trying to do is find some new way to do something out of the ordinary that might enrich my kids' lives. I've started my second year now, and I've started to do more of my work during school hours. The students here have something called Class Hour, which is used to help develop students in various ways. The themes can range from anything such as healthy lifestyles to topics that's supposed to instill national pride in their country. I obviously can't help out with anything to do with Cossacks or Ukrainian poetry, but sometimes I can contribute something such as HIV or AIDS awareness or the dangers of smoking. I've also become more involved in PE where I help do some of the warm-ups and actually teach some of the kids how to play sports that may not be very common here, such as tennis. And of course, I still hang out with my kiddos almost every evening and we just spend time together like we always do. A lot of volunteers are involved in other things, and we call those secondary projects. My secondary projects involve helping my husband with English clubs. These are all broken up based on age and experience. We also have a community youth club and a leadership club. I'm really excited and proud of these student leaders because they come from different schools and they come from various villages. And once a month, we get together and we meet and talk about leadership plus another important topic. So, for example, it might be leadership and human trafficking or leadership and HIV/AIDS. And then in between the meetings, they go back to their schools and they conduct a project based on the monthly theme. Other secondary projects that we have going on depends on the time of year and which holiday might be coming up. We work with several different organizations and some of the local villages, and sometimes they'll ask us to come out and help or take part in their events or provide trainings for them. The summers have been my most favorite time so far, and it's not because school's not in session. In fact, it's probably the most busiest time of the year. I've taken part in several different camps, and I found out that I really enjoy them. Before Peace Corps, I had absolutely no camp experience, and I found out they're a lot of work, especially if you're a director, but they're one of the most rewarding and greatest parts of my service so far. So that's pretty much what it's like for me as a YD volunteer. I'm really fortunate that I serve with my husband, who's a TEFL volunteer. We team up on almost everything and help each other with all of each other's projects. If you'd like to know more what it's like to be a TEFL volunteer, you can check out his video. Please keep in mind that this perspective is only mine alone, and it might be different from what another YD volunteer might be experiencing. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, or you can contact me through email. I'm always happy to help, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.